Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now this is the 9th in my series of top 20 LP tracks by some of my favourite artists, and this time it is Queen. Now I will admit I'm a bigger fan of Queen in the 1970s than I am the 80s, but there's still quite a few 80s songs in this list. I love them. I think they're great. I'm not too keen on their last couple of albums, Innuendo and The Miracle, so you'll find that there's nothing from those two albums on this list, but I do want to give some bubbling unders, and they are My Fairy Queen from the debut, When the Night Comes Down from the debut, Seaside Rendezvous from A Night at the Opera, Long Away from A Day at the Races, Sheer Heart Attack from Use the World, Coming Soon from The Game, Action This Day and Put Out the Fire from Hot Space, a very underrated album, Keep Passing Through Open Windows from The Works, Party in Khashoggi's Ship from The Miracle. I do like them, but they just didn't get on, and Ride the Wild Wind from Innuendo. So we'll start off at number 20, and my number 20 goes to Mustafa, the opener from the 1978 album Jazz. I think this is great. I think Freddie Mercury's vocals are excellent, but what really I do love about this is whenever the guitar kicks in a third of the way through, it's just absolutely amazing. Freddie Mercury song opens Jazz, and it gets my number 20. And number 19, and from 1984, is Tear It Up, the Brian May song. It's a standard rock song. The actual chorus itself is a little bit generic, but what I really like about this is the riffing in it. I think it's got a really good guitar riff. It was also the B-side of Hammer to Fall. I actually prefer Tear It Up to Hammer to Fall, even though I like it as well. But yeah, excellent rock song from 1984. At number 18, and from The Game, I'm going to give it to Roger Taylor's Rocket, Prime Jive. This is just a really good racing number. It starts off with Freddie singing, and then it just lifts up the tempo when Roger takes over the lead vocals. The 1980s were the Roger Taylor years for me for Queen. I think he wrote the best songs, and this is one of the best songs off this album. So Rocket, Prime Jive gets number 18. And number 17, and a lot of people will maybe raise an eyebrow here, but from Hot Space I'm giving it to Cool Cat. I just think it's magnificent. It has a chic sound to it. It's just a really cool groove. Now I believe Beth of Red Rum Records put out a question, the worst song from one of your favourite bands, and she said Cool Cat. I said to check out the version that wasn't issued with David Bowie back in, and I think it's quite good, but I played it after I made that comment and I realised that this is the best version. The Bowie version is quite good, but his vocals are a wee bit too high in the mix, but still I love this, and this was written by Mercury and Deacon. And number 16, and the epic March of the Black Queen from Queen 2. An absolutely fantastic song, probably a precursor to Bohemian Rhapsody. It took me quite a while to get into this song, but you know, it just grows and grows and grows. But yeah, absolutely love it, and it's on the black side of this album, the Mercury side. And number 15, and another Freddie Mercury song, and it's from Day at the Races, and is You Take My Breath Away. I absolutely love it. I was going to include Love of My Life, the studio version. The song itself was released as a single, as a live version, but I thought it would be cheating, so Love of My Life is not included in this list. It would have got on if it hadn't been a single, even though it was a different version. But You Take My Breath Away is every bit as good. Again, a lovely ballad, and Mercury's vocals are magnificent. At number 14, and again it's from Hot Space, and it's Staying Power, the opener. The horns in this are great. It's just a great funky groove, and if you ever see the live at where was it actually, Milton Keynes from 1982. They do a really good rocked up version. It's an absolutely fantastic song from, I think, a brilliant album. So it gets my number 14. And number 13, and we go back to Day at the Races, and it's John Deacon's You and I, which I always think's got a bit of a Motown feel to it. I think it should have been the second single after Somebody to Love. It was the B-side of the second single, which was Tie Your Mother Down. It didn't do too well, but You and I is a much better song and very underrated. Yeah, it's just one of John Deacon's best, so I give that my number 13. And number 12, and we go back to Queen 2, and it's the opener of side 2, or the black side, and it's Ogre Battle, and this is just a fantastic rock song with backward loops at the start. It's just a really, really strong song, and it gets my number 12. Now at number 11, I'm going to cheat. In fact, I'm going to cheat 3 times in this, because really they're 2 songs. I'm giving it to Flick of the Wrist stroke Lily of the Valley. If I had to pick one of them, I would pick Lily of the Valley, but the 2 of them together are absolutely magnificent. Both written by Freddie Mercury. Flick of the Wrist is a really good rock song, whereas Lily of the Valley is a beautiful piano ballad, but together it works so well, and that gets my number 11. At number 10, and again we go back to Hot Space, and it's Roger Taylor's Calling All Girls. I don't understand why this wasn't released in the UK, even as the 3rd single. I would have had it as the 2nd single, or even the 1st single. Las Palabras de Amor was the 2nd single, which is a decent song. It's really good, but it's a little bit bland. It's very Queeny. This is catchy as hell, and it got a release in America, but over here it didn't. I think it's magnificent, and that gets my number 10. Number 9, I'm going to go back to Day at the Races again, and it's the Millionaire Walls, which is almost in 3 parts, which is really, really good. It's just one of those Mercury masterpieces. I love the way it slows the way down, goes my fine friend. Beautiful, absolutely brilliant song, and that gets my number 9. At number 8, and from the debut Queen, we have Great King Rat, which is magnificent, absolutely brilliant. This is a superb album. This is nearly probably my 2nd favourite album of theirs now. Yeah, rocks along, really, really good. The production of this album is maybe a little bit muffled, but I think maybe that just adds to it. I think it's just fantastic, and Great King Rat is the 3rd track of side 1. And at number 7 we shall go with Brian May's Brighton Rock from Sheer Heart Attack. Brilliant opener, brilliant high pitched vocals from Mercury, and then you get that big long guitar solo. Absolutely fantastic, great opener, and yeah, can't say any more about it. It's just a rock classic, and I guess my number 7. At number 6, and again we're going to cheat, because it's 2 songs, and it is Death on Two Legs and Lazing on a Sunday Afternoon. Death on Two Legs is a real scathing attack on a previous manager, I believe, and then to go into the sunshiny Lazing on a Sunday Afternoon is almost from the 1920s. It's just a mark of brilliance. Excellent album and excellent 2 openers. So that gets number 6, and to carry on with the cheating, and number 5 for me, it is the Fairy Feller's Masterstroke going into Nevermoor. Now, Fairy Feller's Masterstroke is weird as hell. His voice goes all over the place, but it's a brilliant song. Nevermoor is reminiscent of Lily of the Valley. It's like a piano type ballad. It's not as good as Lily of the Valley, but together with the Fairy Feller's Masterstroke, it's just magnificent. So that gets my number 5. At number 4, and we go back to, if I can find it here, Sheer Heart Attack, and it is In the Lap of the Gods Revisited. Now this is the closer of side 2, and what a closer. It has got such a sing-along chorus with the whoa whoa yeah yeah yeahs and so forth. It's absolutely magnificent, and this was performed during the Wembley concerts in 1986. I absolutely love it. It's just brilliant. And I'm sticking with this album for number 3, and it's In the Lap of the Gods, the first one. Most people prefer the second one. I think I prefer the first. It starts off, you know, with a screaming, but then his voice goes really weird, almost distorted. But the backing vocals on this are to die for. They're absolutely brilliant, and I just love the song. So In the Lap of the Gods gets my number 3. And at number 2, and we go back to Night at the Opera, and it's Brian May's 39. Yeah, it's the acoustic song. It's absolutely magnificent. It was the B-side of You're My Best Friend. I think it's better than You're My Best Friend. It should have been a single or a double A side at least. I absolutely love it. And again, you sing along to this. It's just a fantastic song. But my favourite Queen LP track comes from News of the World, and it is the closer, My Melancholy Blues. It's a piano ballad by Freddie Mercury, and it's his voice on it is just magnificent. I think it's one of his best vocal performances ever. You know, starting off with Now the Party's Over. It's absolutely wonderful, but it's great. So that gets my number 1. Okay, so there's my top 20 Queen LP tracks. I just think they're a fantastic band. I know a lot of people don't like them, think they're overrated, but I don't. Especially in the 70s, I think they're magnificent. And every time I put on a Queen album, I always enjoy it, even the later ones as well. But as I said earlier, in the 1970s, Freddie Mercury for me was the main songwriter. He wrote the best songs. But in the 1980s, I think it was Roger Taylor. I do like John Deacon's work as well, and Brian May's, but as you can see from my list, about 3/4 of it is all Freddie Mercury. Okay, that's me for now, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.